Good evening, and welcome to all those joining us live via our YouTube channel. Welcome to the Archbishop Carroll High School New Parent Orientation for school year 2020-2021. My name is Kristen Jackson Neesmith, proud alumni of class of 1994 and Vice Principal of Student Affairs. I will be your host this evening for this presentation. Before we begin tonight's presentation, I would like to introduce Deacon Kenneth Lee. At Archbishop Carroll High School, we begin all things giving glory and honor to God, and we end all things giving him praise. With that, here is Deacon Lee to lead us in our opening prayer.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Heavenly Father, in your matchless name, we gather together virtually this evening asking for your strength, wisdom, and guidance as we begin this new academic school year. We ask in a special way that you encourage and protect our Carroll community as we strive to educate the young people entrusted to our care to be tomorrow's future servant leaders, healers, and peacemakers. Allow us to power through all of the tasks before us this day and the days ahead, big and small, to humbly know, love, and serve you. We know that it is by your grace and mercy that we are able to move and have our being. We give you thanks for all that we are and have in this present life and hope for in the next. May you find each of us in good, necessary trouble. We ask these and all of the prayers in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Saint Augustine, pray for us.
Thank you so much, Deacon Lee. At this time, I would like to give you an overview of tonight's agenda. We begin with prayer. You'll have a session overview. Then we will be joined by two members of our leadership team, Mr. Mark Savercool, class of 1981, who is our vice president, and Ms. Alana Gilmore, our principal. Following the welcome, we will have faculty introductions by Ms. Gilmore, along with department overviews, followed by some information regarding our parent association. For the department overviews, we will have information regarding admissions, finance, Office of Student Affairs. Sorry. Yes, here we are. Finance, Office of Student Affairs, campus ministry, service learning, athletics. We will hear about my backpack, counseling, academics, academic support, freshman college seminar, technology, parent involvement, and finally sharing contact information. It is going to be a lot of information shared with you tonight. And we want to just welcome you as our freshmen and transfer parents. We are so very excited that you have chosen Archbishop Carroll High School. We would like to make sure that you get all of the information shared tonight. So following the presentation, if you have any additional questions, you will receive a form for you to submit those questions for us to answer, as well as a link to this presentation via Google Slides. With that, I would like to introduce Mr. Mark Savercool, class of 1981, our vice president.
Thank you, Kristen. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Archbishop Carroll High School. As Kristen said, my name is Mark Savercool. I serve as vice president of the school, and most of my work is in the advancement or development areas, meaning that I go out and find or raise the financial assistance that is needed to keep our Catholic college prep education affordable and accessible to all families that we serve. I welcome your help in this effort, and I look forward to meeting you live someday soon so that we can see how we might be able to partner to continue to enhance the Carroll community. Pleasure to join you tonight. Thanks very much.
Okay, I'm unmuted. And now I'd like to introduce our principal, Miss Alana Gilmore.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Archbishop Carroll. Thank you for being here with us as we give you a glimpse into what you and your student can expect as we begin the 2020-21 academic school year. We are excited. We got to see a lot of you all today. So we have names that go with faces, albeit masked faces. It was a pleasure to see all of you today. As you know, all of us were greatly impacted by the school closures that abruptly ended all of our students' interactions with not just their friends, their teachers, but their entire school community due to the national pandemic. Tonight, what we hope we are bringing you all is hope. We are bringing you all the new face of Carroll, the new normal, and how we will tackle education in this new environment that we are all experiencing. Tonight, you will hear from a variety of presenters comprised of our school leadership, our administrators, and our educators that are prepared to move us forward beyond what we are facing now to ensure that your students are prepared for college and beyond. Our teachers have been preparing for this year, and I'm excited at all they have to offer your students and you as we embark on this new journey together. We are prepared to provide each student with not only a rigorous academic instruction, but a meaningful and memorable school year. So again, thank you for believing in us and being here with us this evening, and I'm looking forward to all that we will accomplish together. So with that, I am going to introduce all of our faculty that are on the call with us this evening. You've heard from our Vice Principal, Ms. Kristen Jackson-Neesmith, who you will hear from a little bit later. We also have, again, our Vice President, Mr. Mark Savercool. Along with us, also with us this evening, we have Mr. Tom Folletti, who is our Social Studies Department Chair. We have Christine Miller, who is our Director of Counseling. We have Charlene Howard, who is our Religion and Theology Department Chair. We have Deacon Kenneth Lee, who is one of our Religion and Theology teachers and also one of our school clergy. We also have with us Mrs. Melanie Powell, who is also an alumni of Archbishop Carroll and our academic dean. We have Mr. Richard Vitale, who is our service learning coordinator. Mrs. Sonia Wilson, who will be interacting most closely with our incoming freshmen in their freshman seminar class, and we'll see some of our upperclassmen as they take some technology and business courses. Also, we have Mrs. Maeve Gilhenny Gallagher, who is our Director of Campus Ministry. Mr. Brian Ellerby, our Athletic Director. A face that you all may not have seen or you might have seen today, Miss Yolanda Chandler McCoy, who works in our Office of Student Affairs, and you will hear from her a little bit later. We have Ms. Monique Williams, who's our Academic Intervention Coordinator. Judith Condezo, our Registrar and Latin Dance Coach Extraordinaire. And finally, last but not least, a face and a name that you all, as new members of our school community, should recognize, our Director of Admissions, Mr. Michael Powell, Sr.
Thank you, Ms. Gilmore. I'm going to bring on a special guest, a face you haven't seen before, and I'm going to ask Ms. Gilmore to come back on screen so that she can talk to our new parents, our transfer and our freshman parents about finance.
Oh, I'm a professional in finance. Yes, so finance. We want to share some information with you guys so that you all are aware of the things that need to be taken care of with regards to finance. So as you all know, we use TADS as our financial management system, and we want to make sure that everyone is logged in and has their account and information accurate. That is more important in these times because we don't have the luxury of having people be able to come to our campus. So we want to make sure that you all understand those responsibilities and not only understand them, but are able to access what you need to be responsible to ensure that your students' education is, like we all have said, memorable and engaging without interruption. So we want to make sure that you guys are able to take care of that. It is something that is important. It is something that we strive to make sure that all of our families are staying financially responsible and fiscally responsible because we are offering, again, what I believe is the best quality education that you can get in the DC metropolitan area. So we want to make sure that our families are aware of that and that you are doing what it is you need to do to ensure that your student is able to enjoy this experience.
Thank you, Finance Extraordinaire, Ms. Gilmore. And now, without further ado, we will start the rest of our department overview presentations for the evening. This is what you logged in for. This is the information you have been seeking. This is what you need to know to be successful at Archbishop Carroll High School. For the Office of Student Affairs, I'm gonna look, because Ms. Gilmore's not here to introduce me. So I'm gonna turn my head and introduce myself. And now,
I'm here to introduce you. And now we have our illustrious Vice Principal for Student Affairs, class of 1994, Miss Kristen Jackson Neesmith.
thank you, Ms. Gilmore. That was a wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. All right, the Archbishop Carroll High School Office of Student Affairs. It is the corner of fun and games and everything in between. Who are the members of the Office of Student Affairs? Well, that is myself. I'm not gonna say my name again because it's right there. And we also have Ms. Chandler McCoy, our Student Affairs Coordinator, who you will hear from momentarily. Our mission in the Office of Student Affairs is to provide a safe and secure learning environment and community, whether that's in person or virtually, while also maintaining, establishing, and helping to build that positive and engaging school climate. We want to make sure that we are supporting and assisting all of our faculty, especially our teachers, with providing students with all the support that they need to feel empowered and successful and to be successful. We work with our teachers, we work with our faculty, we work with our students, making sure that we come up with positive strategies for decision-making. We want to provide opportunities for open communication. In the Office of Student Affairs, we work in collaboration with almost all of the departments on this call this evening, just coming up with ways that we can support and educate the whole child, mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, and all of the things in between. We support Archbishop Carroll High School as the Office of Student Affairs in a variety of ways. We are the point for field trips and making sure that that information gets disseminated and those things happen. We are the hub for the school events and making sure that we have events for our students outside of instruction and academics. We will have clubs and activities this year for the first quarter because we are virtual. We have a plan and we've shared and we've had several meetings and our teachers and faculty are on board. We will have virtual clubs and you'll hear more about the schedule later on in the presentation. And everyone has been asking this question. We will, for this year, 2020, have a Spirit Week and it will be virtual. And there are a lot of activities that are planning and we are grateful for the members of our Student Government Association who have been helping, who have been working with the Office of Student Affairs to plan that. We also support Archbishop Carroll High School in collaboration with other departments like counseling and academic support through behavior interventions, mediations, and mentoring. At this time, Ms. McCoy is going to talk to you specifically about attendance and how we are working through the attendance and enforcing the attendance policy, even in the virtual setting. So with that, the policies and expectations, our uniform policy, as long as we are doing distance learning, so as long as our students are virtual, they are required to wear the Archbishop Carroll High School uniform polo during online classes. Those uniform pieces, including the polos, can be found at flynnohara.com, FLYNNOHARA.com. But all students are required to wear the uniform polo during classes while we are in distance learning. If you have ordered your uniform polo as ninth grade and transfer students, and you have not received it yet, classes start Tuesday. If you have not received it, you are required to wear a solid color polo, not t-shirt, a solid color polo shirt in either dark green, which is an example of hunter or forest green, a pale yellow, not neon, or a dark yellow, a pale yellow, or white. No words or graphics or designs or any other inappropriate language should be on the front of the polo. While you are in your virtual classes, if you choose to wear a sweater, it must be the ACHS school uniform sweater. Our behavior expectations, which will be discussed in further detail when your students arrive at their virtual classes next week, is pride. We are a group, we are a family, we are a community, and as Lions, we have pride, and that pride is shown in a variety of ways, but our pride is shown using these 5 components. The P stands for preparation, the R is respect, the I is involvement, the D is dedication, and the E is empathy. And our teachers will go into further detail about what that looks like in their classes. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Ms. McCoy to discuss our attendance policies and procedures.
Good evening, I'm sorry. Welcome, class of 2024. As we approach this new school year and the new norm that we have to deal with, we expect our students to get proper rest and make the preparations that they need to start their school day. Parents, we are asking for your support to encourage your students that attendance is a vital part of the day, and it makes the day start right. If you're in class on time, you're dedicated and you're ready. The teachers are already logged in, ready and prepared to teach. Class login time is 8:15 a.m. At 8:31, your student will be considered tardy or absent if they're not logged in. If the student is absent from a class, the counseling department will make a call to all parents to notify you of the absence. If your student is tardy or absent from school or class during the day, you will receive an email notification from the attendance office notifying you of those tardies and absences. We do hope that you consider allowing your child to have the tools that they need to be ready, to be attentive and respectful. Students may not email a teacher at all to be absent from class. This must be confirmed by a parent via email through the attendance office. Consistent tardiness or absence will be recorded in a student's records, and a parent conference will be requested if needed. In the event there is a family emergency or a student should become ill for any reason, please contact Ms. Chandler in the attendance office via email at attendance@achsdc.org. Or you can use the absent notification form, which will be forthcoming by email from our principal, Ms. Gilmore. Here are a few valid reasons for tardy excuses or absences: illness of the student, family emergency, medical, or dental appointments. If a student has a dental appointment or a health appointment, please provide a doctor's note on the next school day to the attendance email to be excused. Request to attend a court proceeding is excusable. School-sponsored activities are excused, and any other emergencies will be deemed or determined by the administration. We know sometimes students can be overwhelmed with his or her studies. If your child becomes overwhelmed or if there's a challenge for your child, you may advise the counselors or the administration immediately for assistance. We will do our best to help you keep your child on track. All students will receive an electronic copy of the student handbook. Once received, the student and parent should review the policies at once. We thank you for all you do to support your child's well-being at Archbishop Carroll. I look forward to meeting you and your child in the near future. I say best wishes to a safe and successful school year. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Ms. McCoy. And that is it for the Office of Student Affairs. At this time, I would like to introduce our campus minister to talk about campus ministry, Mrs. Maeve Gilhenny Gallagher.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's such a joy to be with you here tonight, and especially to be able to talk to you a little bit about our faith life and culture here at Carroll. So the Office of Campus Ministry is made up of myself, Mr. Vitale, our service learning coordinator, who you will hear from in a few minutes, and Father Paul Dressler, who is a Capuchin friar and is our volunteer chaplain. He celebrates the majority of our masses for us and helps out in any way that he can with the students, with spiritual counsel, and helping lead some other activities. So what we do in our office is we help the students with their own faith journeys. So our Catholic identity is at the heart of everything that we do. You saw earlier how we began in prayer, and that's just a little bit of how we incorporate our faith into everything that we do at Carroll. Ultimately, our goal is to bring students closer to God. And we do this by providing different opportunities for students to learn about their own faith and to grow spiritually, like Mass, retreats, prayer services, confession, days of action, and different service learning opportunities, which Mr. Vitale is going to talk about in a few minutes. So this year, obviously, or this quarter is going to be looking a little different from what we have traditionally done in our office, but we have some really great programming coming up, and I'm really excited to get the ninth graders involved in everything that we're doing. So during the school year, your student will be participating in virtual Mass, the first of which is on August 28th. Virtual prayer services, office hours where they can seek spiritual counsel, and we'll be continuing to expand and improve on this programming throughout the first quarter. We also are going to continue with a program that we began in April of this past school year, where it was a weekly Bible study with myself and a Capuchin friar named Brother Mike, who was helping in the building. And then when we transitioned to outside of the building virtually, he continued to help. And we've been doing weekly Bible studies with a group of students. It's open to any student who wants to come. No preparation is needed. And it's been a really life-giving experience for me personally, but I think also for the group of students who decide to show up that day. So we'll be continuing that. And we're also going to be working on a prayer partner initiative where students are randomly paired with other volunteers who want to be a part of this to help students learn how to keep one another accountable toward our different goals, and also to know that there is somebody, especially a peer, who is praying for you and praying for specific intentions. And also, the students will be able to work with our student peer ministers, who are 10th through 12th graders, who help out with everything in campus ministry. And they can give input to the peer ministers and share different ideas for our faith experiences that we're planning this quarter. Thank you so much. I hope that gave you a little bit of an insight into what we have planned for this upcoming few months. I am really excited to virtually meet your students and hopefully meet all of you sometime in the future, and know that you are in all of our prayers here at Carroll, and please keep the educators and the staff here in your prayers as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gilhenny Gallagher. And now I would like to introduce Mr. Rich Vitale to talk to us about our service learning program.
Good evening. I'm so excited to be here with you all, and I look forward to meeting you in person. But tonight we're going to get you started with a little overview of this important part of the Carroll experience, and that is participating in the service learning program. Service learning is the spent time by students helping people and then reflecting on that time so that we learn and grow into better people. The service learning program is a partnership between the campus ministry, the religion department, students, and staff. Service learning integrates the academic knowledge of social justice and compassion ministries and growth experience of being in communities. Our service learning program is comprised of several staff members. And if Ms. Jackson, you could move along to the next one.
My apologies.
That's okay. Myself and Ms. Gilhenny Gallagher are part of the program, as well as our religion teachers, Ms. Howard, the religion chair and 11th grade teacher, Deacon Lee, who teaches 9th and 12th grade. And I also teach 9th grade, so Deacon Lee and myself will be teaching your students this year in religion class, and Mr. Juco, who teaches 10th grade. Each of the grade levels has specifically designed programming, and the teachers, as well as the service learning program, work hand in hand to develop that programming for your students. So we have specific learning objectives. They are to give Carroll students opportunity to learn about themselves and their community, to give Carroll students an opportunity to serve in many different places of need in our community, to give Carroll students time to reflect and grow into their fullest God-created potential, and to grow Carroll into a stronger community by working together on our common goals. We are, of course, in a different time, and there will be a different approach to service learning as we are remotely operating this year. So definitely in the first quarter and perhaps beyond, our service learning will look a bit different. Our team of service learning staff and religion teachers are working to create new and remote programming to answer that need. Our specific requirements for our students in the 4 years they here are to do a total of 100 hours, 25 per year. This is an increase over past years in case you have students that have already attended here. What is the same is each year students will do service learning of 10 hours in food drive, which of course will look different this year as we are looking to serve our community's need of food through remote or safe collection. In addition, we will continue to do the 5 hours of religion class service learning programming. Each year will be different. Freshman year, we'll be doing remote and distance projects that could enable them to serve the community in different ways. In addition, this year, we are increasing our hours with programming for each grade level of 10 hours outside the classroom. And this will be talked about and instructed by myself through our service learning programs on Fridays, the days that we aren't having classes, in addition to sometimes coming into the religion classrooms and training the students. We have a program where students will be registered called X2Vol, where they will record their hours and the reflections. We also have a grade level learning, service learning Google Classroom that parents will have access to and be able to see the requirements that the students are asked to fulfill. If you have any questions, I'm always eager and ready to answer and dialogue with you on all the important things. So I look forward to talking to you and meeting you in person in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vitale. And now for athletics, I would like to present the Brian Ellerby, our athletic director, with more information regarding our athletic program.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Good evening, everyone. I was excited today to see a lot of our incoming freshmen. Obviously, athletics has been put on a little hold due to the world pandemic, but we're very, very hopeful and prayerful that someday soon that we'll get back to the business of competing here at Archbishop Carroll, which has a very, very rich and prideful tradition of athletics. As you can see on our screen, we have quite a few sports that we compete in, and actually two conferences. We compete in one of the country's best conferences, the WCAC, but we also compete in the DCSAA for the DC State Championships as well. We definitely have some very, very exciting coaches, as you can see. And if anyone is interested in trying out, regardless of your level, we encourage you to try out and experience any one of our sports. We do have two club sports as well. Our lacrosse team is a club sport, and also our state championship esports program, which kicked off last year, and we actually were the Washington, D.C. state champions in esports. If you have interest, please email any one of our head coaches. We will definitely get back to you. My email address is in front of you as well, and we welcome phone calls. We like to see as many of you students try out and get involved with sports as possible. We feel like it's a very, very strong part of what we do here at Archbishop Carroll, and it definitely is something that enhances the experience. So we look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Everybody stay prayerful, and we're hoping that the door opens up for us very, very soon when we can get back on the playing field. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ellerby. And now to present information regarding my backpack and our online grading system and course portal is Mrs. Judith Condeso.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm so excited to be able to present a little bit about our student academic portal that we use here at Archbishop Carroll High School. The portal that we use is called My Backpack. My Backpack is an interactive portal that allows you to view your students' attendance, grades, and past academic history in real time. This is a wonderful and useful tool for all of our parents. At about 3 p.m. today, all new and transfer families should have received an email with an activation code. That activation code will be live for 48 hours. Please take some time to set up your My Backpack account so that you can have access to all of these things. On the slide, it may be a little small, I apologize, but there are several important links. One is student schedule that will list your student's current schedule in both grid and list form. There will also be a daily grades and assignments link that will not only include your students' current graded assignments, but upcoming assignments. This is a very useful tool because on this link, you can actually see when your students' assignments are graded. Now, if you have an assignment, if a student has an assignment and there is an NC located next to that assignment, it means that your student has not completed it. So that way, the students are held accountable for the work that they have completed. Also, a student's quarter grade is automatically averaged every time a student completes an assignment. So you can see the progress of your student as they turn in each assignment, which is very, very useful. There's also a link for student attendance. So you can, if you are leaving your student at home to do their academics while you go to work, the attendance link will also let you see attendance in real time to see if your student has actually logged into into their classes for that day. It's a very, very useful link. Also, there's a link that says My Documents. Archbishop Carroll High School has tried to go as much virtual as possible, especially when it comes to progress reports. Not only do you get to see your students' grades in real time, when we have progress reports, we no longer mail paper copies. We send them electronically and they're available immediately through the My Backpack portal under My Documents. So you can also make changes to your family's contact information through My Backpack. So if you move or if you change a phone number or if you decide you'd like to use another email, you can go on My Backpack to update your contact information as well. It's a very, very useful tool. If you are checking your email and you're not finding it, I suggest you check your spam folder. If it's still not in there, please shoot me an email. My email's listed on the website. So that we can get you set up on the account. I'm usually in the office, so you can feel free to give me a call at the school. And for our Latino parents joining us today, yo soy la señorita Condeso, yo hablo español y yo trabajo muy directamente con todas las familias latinas y necesita ayuda o una traducción o un bienvenido a la escuela, por favor comuníquese conmigo. Thank you everyone. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Condeso. And now we will hear from Mrs. Christine Miller, our Director of Counseling, to talk about important information from the counseling department.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to New Families. We're very excited to have you, and I was very eager to get to meet many of you today as you came to take your pictures and pick up your Chromebooks. Just like each of our other departments at Archbishop Carroll, the counseling department will endeavor to provide the same services we provide during a regular school environment virtually. The school year begins with us focusing most of our energy on scheduling and making sure every student is properly scheduled and ready to begin classes on the first day. Ms. Condeso just talked to you about how you are able to see your schedule. Those of you who attended Lions Academy should have gotten your My Backpack all set up. So now you can go ahead and log in and check your schedule. When you go into My Backpack and access your first semester schedule, take a look at your classes and make sure they reflect what you should be taking. If you have any questions, know who to contact. If you cannot log into My Backpack, your contact is Ms. Condeso, who you just saw. If there are problems with the classes on your schedule, you should contact your counselor. And at Archbishop Carroll, we divide our caseload by student last name. If your last name begins with A through J, your counselor is Sister Helen McCullough, and you see her email address posted there below. And if your last name is K through Z, I am your counselor, and you see my email address posted below. Every student received this information via an email yesterday, so you don't have to worry about trying to write down all that information. If there's a problem with your schedule, figure out if you need a schedule change. Normally, we do schedule changes in person, but that's not possible this year because we are in a virtual environment. So if you need a schedule change because you are missing a graduation requirement, there's a class on your schedule that you've taken and already received credit for, or there is a hole in your schedule, meaning there is a block of the day where you don't have a class, then you need to contact us. You do that by filing a schedule change form. You find the link on that slide. And again, it was emailed to every student yesterday. So go in and check your Carroll email and see if you can find it. Schedule changes are only available until the end of the second week of classes, and you have to file a schedule change form. Please do not call or send an email because we need the date stamp from the schedule form to keep the request in the order they arrive. Once your schedule is fine and you're ready to go, join the Google Classroom for your counselor when you get an invite. Just like all of our teachers, the counseling staff has Google Classrooms where we will interact with you all throughout our virtual time. So when you get that invite, please make sure you join, and parents, you are able to join as well. You will get an invite, and Google Classroom will be the best way to stay in touch with your counselor. It's the best way to make an appointment. It's the best way to ask questions, and we disseminate very, very vital information through our Google Classroom and through your Carroll email. So please make sure that you're checking both on a regular basis. Thank you, and I look forward to getting a chance to see you again soon, and have a wonderful start to the school year.
Thank you, Mrs. Miller. And at this time, I would like to bring on Mrs. Melanie Powell, class of 1991, and our academic dean, along with Miss Gilmore, our principal, as they discuss academics.
Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be with you all again. It was a joy to match names to faces earlier today. We've received lots of emails throughout the summer, and I could say, oh yeah, you just emailed me. Oh, I remember talking to you. So it was great to see many of you today, even though you were behind your mask. A couple of things. We know that we will start our school year virtually. Today you received Chromebooks. If you did not, you need to contact the Miss Jackson Neesmith if you were unable to pick up your device. Please contact her as soon as possible to make arrangements to pick it up. How do you get into your device? Once you get home, turn your device on, make sure you have a plug that works. Your username to log in is your ACHS email. So it's your first initial, your last name, 24 for most of you, at achsdc.org. Same thing if you are a transfer student, it's whatever the last two of your graduation year. So your email is your username. Your password is the same password that you use to get into your Carroll email. So whatever password you have set up to get into your Carroll email, whether you are logging in on any device, it is your password that you're going to use to log into your Chromebook. Once you get in, you should be able to connect to your home's internet. And at that point, you will be able to log into your ACHS email account, access your email, and then access your Google Classroom invitations, and we'll talk about that. The first day of school is this coming Tuesday. I can't believe it, but it is here. And it will be a green A day. You'll hear, depending on who you're talking to, you'll hear, is it a green day or a gold day? Is it an A day or a B day? So green days are always A days, gold days are B days. So we will use those terms, both terms interchangeably. So Tuesday will be a green A day. As Ms. McCoy indicated earlier, the first class begins at 8:30. You can log into your first class as early as 8:15. Some of your teachers may be on by 8 o'clock, so you can log in a little earlier if you like. But you have to be logged in by 8:30 and ready for class. On Tuesday, you will check your schedule that Mrs. Miller just talked about, and you will log into your A1 Google Classroom course and then follow the directions given by your teacher. Well, how do I know? What do you mean follow the directions given by my teacher? You will get all of your Google Classroom invitations from your teachers probably starting tomorrow. Some of you, I think, may have gotten some last night and today, but you will get an email that says, you are invited to join Algebra 1. Please click here and you will then be in your Google Classroom. Here's an example of a Google Classroom page that I used during the summer. You will see it has the name of the class at the top, the class code that you probably won't need because you will get a specific invitation. But right underneath the class code in that pinkish color box is a meeting link. Your teacher may set up a meeting link for your Google Classroom so that you can do video meetings in Google Meets, and that is where you will always find that meeting link. So let's say, for example, your teacher says we're going to meet in Google Meets at 8:45. Everybody make sure you get there. That is where you will find that link. Right underneath that is a space where it's called the stream, where your teacher may give you information, directions. You can ask questions, probably similar to what some of you all do on like Snapchat, or I don't use Snapchat, but I'm imagining that it's something like that where you can see things and then comment and then see other things. So that is your stream where you will find valuable information. There will be a great enthusiastic welcome from all of your teachers on the front of that stream, the top of that stream, when you get your invite, giving you directions. So again, check your schedule. A1, you're going straight to the Google Classroom for A1, and then you're going to follow that on Tuesday for A2. You're going to break for lunch, and then A3, and then A4, and then you're going to do it all again on Wednesday in your B-Day classes. So let's talk a little bit about what distance learning is going to look like this year, or at least for we know at least for the first quarter, we are hoping to get you all in the building because we miss your energy and being in the same place with you all. So we're going to do both a combination of live sessions with the students where there's a teacher, just like maybe not just like we're talking to you now, but where we're on video so we can talk to each other. You can ask questions. You can chat, so you can put things in the chat, and then there will also be assignments that are posted on your Google Classroom so that you can do later on. So you're required to log in during your designated time. So A1, you need to be logged into your A1 class. B4, you need to be logged into your B4 class to get the instructions from the teacher. So whether you're in a live session or if there are assignments posted that you need to complete. We're using Google Apps, just as we have indicated before. So that's Google Classroom, your Gmail, your Google Hangouts, all of those things. Sometimes your teacher may use Zoom meetings, but you will get the links for those Zoom meetings when they use those as well. One tip about the class time, when you may have posted assignments to do, use your class time wisely. If your teacher teaches something for 15, 20 minutes and then says you have the last 20 minutes to complete an assignment, that's what you need to do, the last 20 minutes to complete an assignment. Use your time wisely. Attendance will be taken every class period. When you log in, there may be an assignment that you have to do to note your attendance. You may have to log into a Zoom meeting or Google Meets so that your attendance will be recorded, but it will be recorded. And as Mrs. Chandler McCoy indicated, if you are not logged in, you parents will get a message stating that your student was either late to logging in or did not log in at all. It is school. It's school in an unconventional way, but it is school. So we will make sure attendance is taken. And assessments, graded assignments will all be done during this virtual platform. So what does the schedule look like? Monday through Friday, School is open in various ways. School is open Monday through Friday. So 8 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. Remember I said you can log in as early as 8:15. Classes start at 8:30, Monday through Thursday on your alternating A-B schedule. So you do 4 classes on A day, 4 classes on B day. So there will be virtual class meetings on those Monday through Thursday according to your schedule. Fridays are a little different. Zoom, Google Meets, video call, it brings on some fatigue. So we want to make sure we break that up and give you all a chance to do some of the work and the group activities and the check-ins and all the different things that are part of school beyond assignments. So on Fridays, we've dedicated that time to small group work time, and that time will be scheduled by your teacher and communicated to the students verbally and in email no later than Wednesday afternoon by 4 o'clock. So say, for example, next Wednesday, your conceptual physics wants to meet with a few of the kids in the dorm B1. So he will, Mr. Trainer will send an email and let the kids know in their B class, okay, on Friday, I need to see these 6 students. Log into Google Classroom. We're going to have a quick Google Meets on Friday to talk about X, Y, and Z. Mr. Trainer will then also send an email saying, on Friday at this time during the B1 block, you need to meet with me to go over X, Y, and Z. So you will be notified of how that time will be used. Also on Fridays, there will be time for academic support. You will hear about that a little bit later, but there may be some things to do for your student. If the student needs some additional support in some areas, there'll be time for counselor check-ins and any kind of academic advising, college counseling for our upperclassmen, and then mass prayer services and retreats. We will have typically special schedules on Fridays for mass prayer services and retreats. So what does our schedule look like? So Monday through Thursday, your schedule looks like this: green A day, checking in. You have hour block classes. You have a lunch break there in between, and then in between the 2 and 3. And then the afternoons are dedicated for teacher meetings, office hours. So it's an additional time to meet with teachers one-on-one to get your questions answered. Again, academic support will be built into some of that time as well. So please, like, there are plenty of opportunities every day, and then almost all day on Fridays for your students to get any kind of support, to catch up on work, to ask any questions. So please, please, please make sure that they are utilizing that time. And then the Friday schedule is also listed here, and you all will get this information, no need to remember it, but so that Friday you have, if I have algebra block, green block A2, and I have, let's see, Catholicism B2, in order to make sure, and I have to meet with my teacher, in order to make sure that we did not schedule students at the same times to meet with different teachers, we wanted to put in a loose schedule here. So again, there will be times for your students on Fridays to meet with all of their teachers if necessary, or a few here and there to take a break and then meet with a 1 or 2 more. So this is a loose schedule of what Fridays could look like if your student needs to do any small group work or extra tutoring, or catch up on work with their teachers during the Friday schedule. Okay, we had these slides before, so we talked about these Chromebooks. Again, if you did not get yours or have questions, please contact Ms. Jackson. Talked about the first day of school and Google Classroom. How do you make sure that you are successful for the year? And I know you've heard some of these things before, but being organized is huge during this time. And you may think, okay, well, I'm at home. Like, it's okay, I have access to all my things, but having access and something being in one room, under your bed, on top of the dresser, under the dresser, can be distracting and can throw you off. So you want to make sure that your place where you are learning and doing your work is organized, it's pleasant, it's appealing, it's free from distractions. I recommend strongly having headphones, especially if there are more than, you know, 1 or 2 people trying to be in the same place and do school. So headphones will be very helpful to minimize some of those distractions. It may be helpful not to try to do work and study and do school in the same place that you play your video games or watch TV, as to, you know, not be tempted by some of those things. Make sure that, again, it's lit enough for you to see and for your teachers and your peers to see you on the screen. Make sure you have your books, your papers, your supplies, anything that you would normally have and need to be able to be successful in school, and have those things organized. So even when you're not in school, but if you're going to have a notebook for each class, you need to have a notebook for each class now. So make sure that you're just organized and prepared for learning each day. And expectations for our parents and our students. And we've, again, talked about some of this before. Time and space, it's school. So we have to have the time and the space conducive for our students to be able to learn and be successful. Parents, we ask that you support our teachers and keep the lines of communication open. Again, if you change phone numbers, address, email address, anything like that, it is important that you let us know as soon as possible. And know that you can email your child's teacher at any point and they will get back to you within 24, 48 hours. If they don't, email me and I will make sure they get back to you, or hopefully be able to answer your question if I can. Parents, they have to come to school. Come, meaning get on the computer. It's important. Attendance is important. They will miss learning opportunities if they don't sign in, or if they sign in 20 minutes late. At that point, the instruction or the meat of the instruction may be over. So we want to make sure that our students are logging in on time. All the same school rules apply. They need to be in their uniform shirt. They need to be ready to go. They need to use appropriate language, be respectful of their peers. So all of those things apply just as if they were in a classroom, in a physical classroom. They need to make sure they're adhering to deadlines. We have an overall school policy about late work that you will receive, and probably will be in every syllabi that your student receives. But for freshmen during the first quarter, they have 5 school days to get something turned in from the deadline. After that 5th day, it is an automatic 0, unless there's a circumstance that is communicated to the teacher by the parent. But 5 days gives them enough time to turn something in, to get some questions answered. So unless there is a larger circumstance that needs to be discussed, please make sure that your student is adhering to the deadline. So they have 5 the first quarter, 4, 3, and then 2. So we are trying to get them to the point where they understand that they are accountable to those deadlines. So help us help them adhere to their deadlines. And then also to care for the devices today. When your students picked up the devices, they looked at it, we talked about and signed a contract. You would get that contract electronically that really just says they need to take care of the device, that it's used for school only, and the inappropriate use for school assignments and classroom meetings and some other things, but just really just caring for the device, because right now, especially right now, it is their tool for instruction. So it's very important that they take care of it, that they have it charged up. They need to be by a plug if it's not charged up, so it can be charging while they're on screen.
I'm gonna jump in right now, Mrs.
Okay,
Powell.
thank you.
I was wondering, I was waiting, I was trying to get in, but you were doing such a wonderful job, so I didn't want to interrupt. Before we kind of go through these last few things about communication, I really want to make sure that we emphasize the partnership that we want to make sure that we are establishing between home and school. That has always been our goal, but as you've heard from everyone, that is more important with us being separate from one another and for us having school virtually. So parents, it is really important. If you logged on late and you're catching up, it's really important for you to be as knowledgeable about your student's school day, what the expectations are for them, what are the parameters that have been put in place so that you can really help them be successful. So of all the slides, I think all of them were valuable and had a lot of meaningful information, but the one about communication will be key. I know that Ms. Jackson has worked really hard with all of our new students to make sure that their email addresses are set up. And she has impressed upon them the importance of checking their emails. It is extremely important for students to check their emails daily. The devices that we're given today, they are an extension of the school environment, more so than ever. And that is how they will stay connected. That is how you will stay connected. So the school will communicate weekly. We will use our website to house information just for your reference or resources that you may need to refer back to. For example, having a link to these presentations and the recordings of these presentations. We also use, email, having an up-to-date email is important. Accessing the email that we have on file is important. The website is another place. As I said, we'll post information in the event of anything that you guys need to know. We can post that information, house it there for you. We also utilize a system for robocalls and text messages from a messaging system. So again, having the right information on file that not only is just an email or a phone number, but something that you as a parent can be we can gain access to you and you can gain access to us. You will also, we've provided in the way of a link here that you guys will be able to get later. How do you contact teachers? Teachers will send invites to students via their Google Classroom, but teachers may also send invites to parents. So with the information that we have on file, you will also be invited to participate, not in the same way as your student does, but so that you can get class announcements, you can get class information, so that, again, the partnership is there. You are getting information that will help your student be successful. Teachers will have office hours daily from 2 to 4, and then on Fridays, teachers will reach out and schedule appointments as well. So we just want to make sure that we are providing all ways of communication. We also, as a part of the faculty email list, we also have our teachers' voicemail box numbers that you can access by calling the school and entering in their voicemail box. Although you may not get them directly, you will be able to leave them a message, which will allow them to contact you and set up an appointment time so that you can meet and discuss your student. So again, thank you. The partnership, the communication, all of these things are valuable when we are talking about the education of your young people. So thank you, Mrs. Powell. And next up, we have Ms. Williams, who will talk to us about academic support.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. The Academic Intervention and Support Team is made up of myself, Ms. Monique Williams, and Mr. Deshaun Singleton. So just a few points to let you know what our mission is. We support students diagnosed with learning disabilities and/or medical disabilities that have been disclosed to our office. That information comes to us via the admissions department when you guys apply. We support students whose GPAs fall below a 2.3, which will ultimately turn into academic support. We also support students who are recommended to the Student Teacher Assistance Team, also known as STAT. In detail, academic intervention again supports those students with diagnosed learning disabilities and/or medical disabilities, and the support comes via a Catholic accommodation plan. So based on the paperwork that was submitted during the admissions process, the IEP, the 504, the psychoed evaluation is reviewed by myself, and then I translate that information into what's known as a Catholic accommodation plan. If you have yet to receive that for your student, you will be receiving it within the next 24 hours. Teachers have been trained, given resources and strategies in order to support students with diagnosed learning disabilities. And if you have any questions in reference to a Catholic accommodation plan, any paperwork that you submitted during the admissions process, please feel free to reach out to me. A little bit more about academic support. So academic support is for students whose GPAs fall below a 2.3. We identify those students mid-quarter and quarterly. Students are required to attend tutoring, and the tutoring may be with that content area with which they struggle. Academic support is held Monday through Thursday based on the year. So for the class of 2021, if you are required to attend academic support, your days will be Monday from 2:30 to 4. Class of 2022, your days will be Tuesday from 2:30 to 4. Class of 2023, your days will be Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 p.m. And then class of 2024, your days will be Thursday from 2:30 to 4. Check-ins will be held with myself, Mr. Singleton, or Mrs. Powell, the academic dean. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Powell, Ms. Gilmore, and Ms. Williams. And now, this is a face that students have seen very, very often. If they've been on Lions Academy or they video conference over the summer, they've seen the name. So I would like to introduce Ms. Wilson, who will be talking to you about our freshman college seminar.
Good evening, parents of the class of 2024. So glad to be with you this evening, and it was great seeing your daughters and sons today. In freshman college seminar, we want students to think big, because big, the concept of big means that they intend to go to college, and we certainly want to prepare them for that. We're going to do that by building a foundation with every student, a foundation that allows them to become better organizers, communicators, writers, understanding complex texts, researching, and creating. Next. Our goal is to acclimate every freshman student to the freshman college preparatory environment. And we're doing that by focusing on their academic skills, which include critical thinking and communication skills, as well as college and careers, and their behavioral skills, which will include the use of technology, time management, I am so looking forward to seeing every student in the little box next week and at the Basilica in 2024. I'm here tonight because I love what I do and I believe in our students. You can always reach me at swilson@achdc.org. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wilson. And now we will hear more, yes, more about our technology. And I would like to bring in Mr. Powell. who also serves as our Director of Admissions.
Hello and welcome to all the new families, classes of 2021, 22, 23, and of course our largest class, 2024. It was an absolute pleasure to engage in you guys. So I want to say thank you and welcome for everything that we were able to accomplish during these trying times. Both myself and my admissions associate, Ms. Nancy Salmarone, and of course, our faculty, staff, and current students here at Archbishop Carroll. We just want to say welcome to you, to the Archbishop Carroll family. So of course, yes, technology is going to be at the center of everything we do moving forward. Of course, we were truly excited about moving to one-to-one as a whole from a school, but we've absolutely been thrust into how we'll be utilizing this technology in this virtual space. So of course, Archbishop Carroll is providing a personal device for everyone in grades 9 through 12. And that's going to be truly an extension of not just your classroom, but what you'll be using to research, to do your papers, to pretty much do everything in preparation for moving towards that college environment. Our teachers are preparing students for college and careers that will be heavily focused on technology. So yes, we've utilized our cell phones and our other devices, and we know how to use them as tools to socialize. Now we're going to really use them as tools to educate one another. You'll also, moving forward, you'll learn and be able to be exposed to frequently asked questions centered around your technology in case you run into any issues. One could be issues related to direct user issues. Some may be related to hardware, and we'll have things in place to help quickly guide you through that process so you don't miss out or be delayed in any kind of way with utilizing the technology because of the primary importance of it. And all of this, of course, is just working toward what this new thing is in the 21st century. So we here at Archbishop Carroll are excited. I'm truly excited because I'm an IT professional by trade. So I'm truly excited about the introduction to technology in this space. I look forward to working with you, students and families, with utilizing that technology and ensuring that it is truly a tool to move you towards that college preparatory status that we aspire to. So thank you guys for all your time and attention. And I look forward to seeing you soon in the virtual space and prayerfully seeing you guys soon face to face when we come back into the building. So thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you so much, our resident IT expert and Director of Admissions and head boys basketball coach. And I could go on, but I won't. And at this point, I would like to share some information with all of you joined here today about how you can be involved as a parent at Archbishop Carroll High School. Our Parent Association of Archbishop Carroll, affectionately known as PAC, the purpose of this group is to foster the communication between all stakeholders, and that includes parents and administration and faculty, but they also act as liaisons between our parent group and our students and the administration and faculty. But in these parent meetings, in this parent association, they work together to find ways to not only just support the school, but support the reason we have the school, and that is our teens. So how do you get involved in this wonderful group? Well, guess what? You already are. You're already a member because you are a parent at Archbishop Carroll High School. And there are other parents on this call. So we are all parents and we are all in the PAC, and it is amazing. Ms. Powell, myself, Mr. Powell, yes. Hey, PAC members. You can also attend, and they encourage you to attend the PAC meetings or any PAC sponsored program. But also be a PAC leader, become a member of the PAC executive board, run for office. Make sure you offer those talents and skills. At this time, if you know that you can make masks, talk to the PAC, help us make masks. This is one of those times where your talents and your skills will be utilized for the benefit of the entire community. And if you have any questions whatsoever about the Parent Association of Archbishop Carroll, please contact our 2020-21 PAC president, Ms. Rhea Ballard Thrower. Her email address is rballardthrower@gmail.com. That is RBALLARDTHROWER@gmail.com. Or you can call her at 301-655-1864. At this time, I would like to go through our contact information. Every person on this call has an email address that you can utilize to contact directly. This presentation will be emailed to every family in the Archbishop Carroll community so that you will have it. There are the members of our leadership team, Mr. Larry Savoy, alumni class of 1993, our president, Mr. Mark Savricool, alumni class of 1981, our vice president, and Miss Alana Gilmore, our principal, who's a mother of an alum. Yes, so technically yes. Then there's me, hey, what's up? There's Mrs. Powell, class of 1991, our academic dean, and Mrs. Christine Miller, our director of counseling. There's Mrs. Maeve Gilhaney Gallagher, our director of campus ministry, Mr. Rich Vitale, our service learning coordinator, and Mr. Brian Ellerby, our athletic director. Mr. Michael Powell, IT expert, director of admissions, head boys basketball coach, and his admissions associate, Mrs. Nancy Samaran. If you have any questions regarding any of this information, you will be getting emails from our executive assistant to the principal, Miss Rosa Canales, and there's also Mr. Jeff Owens in finance to answer those questions. Also on this call, we have Miss Monique Williams, alum, class of 03, who is our academic intervention coordinator. And then we also have our department chairpersons. Mrs. Michelle Ming is our engineering department chair. Mr. Wenzel Burton is our science department chair. Mrs. Charlene Howard, who was introduced earlier, is our religion and theology department chair. And Dr. Juan Galistegi is our fine arts department chair. Mr. Tom Folletti, who was introduced earlier on the call, is our social studies department chair. And you heard a presentation from Miss Sonia Wilson, our business department chair. At this time, as we said at the beginning of this presentation, we begin in all things at Archbishop Carroll in prayer. So at this time, I would like to ask Deacon Lee to come back on the screen to lead us in prayer.
Thank you. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to gather, to learn, and gain insight about the various matters before us. One by one, we work together to see our individual pieces moving into place. We will continue to strive for your will day by day. Please give comfort and strength to those affected by COVID-19, to those suffering and struggling financially, and to those suffering in silence. Shower us with your sweet peace. We ask these and all of the prayers in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Saint Augustine, pray for us.
Thank you so much, Deacon Lee. And I want to thank you for your time and your attention and your patience through the error messages and all of the technical difficulties that we have had this evening. What do we do at Carroll? We are going to be great in spite of all the odds and challenges put in front of us. So if I could have everybody on this call, please unmute your mics. And this is how we end all things at Carroll, especially our announcements. Can we say it together to welcome our transfer students and our new Lion Cubs class of 2024? And together, who are we?
We are green. We are
Gold.
gold.
We are
We
gold.
are Carroll.
Carroll.
Yes, thank you so much for your time, your attention, and joining us this evening. We pray for traveling mercies wherever you are going. And with that, this is our school motto, Pro Deo et Patria, for God and country. Thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great evening. And I am going to put all of us up on the screen, as many as I can. Can I get it? Yes, and just wave goodbye to our families as we get ready to go. Stay safe, everyone.